Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing right now.
Playing games can be fun, but sometimes one screen isn't enough. How about three? Running off of one video graphics card. That one right there. And to tell us more about what we're looking at, Casey!
Hey, thanks for coming by, Chris. I'm Casey Gocher. I work here at AMD. I'm Director of Product Marketing for the graphics business, and really wanted to just show you some new technology that we announced a few months back. We call it ATI Eyefinity technology, and what it really does is it allows you to expand your gaming experience. In this particular example, it allows you to expand your gaming experience from one panel to 3 panels. Now, you might say, well, haven't we been doing multi-monitor gaming for some time? A couple things will happen. Number one, we've really been limited to 2 monitors. That's one thing. The other thing is a lot of games wouldn't actually expand across both monitors. You may have been able to use both monitors for extended desktop, but the minute you fired up your game, it would pick a panel and that's where it would go to your primary display. What we've actually done is re-architected our video cards and our architecture to where we can actually treat this whole entire resolution as one single large surface. So the OS, instead of seeing it as 3 separate panels, we actually have worked it out to where the OS sees it as one panel, one single large surface, and that's why we're able to actually display the game on all 3 panels.
Yeah, I wish I could explain, it's not going to translate very well on video, but it is something to just kind of experience for yourself. I mean, it's very, very immersive. Just standing here in front of 3 screens, and it's very fluid as well.
The performance is amazing, and that's part of the other reason why we really haven't been able to do anything like this before now, is the performance on the graphics cards just hasn't been there yet. This particular card that we're running runs at about 180 watts and it's generating 2.7 teraflops of performance. That's basically a supercomputer running in this little guy right here at about 180 watts, which is pretty amazing. And so it's really taken us until we've had the kind of performance needed to be able to do something like this. So in addition to that, adding being able to architect a single large surface capability is what's allowing us to do it today where we weren't able to do it before.
All right, so can you attach more screens to it?
Certainly. Would you like to see another demonstration?
Absolutely.
Let's do it.
Like a kid in a candy store here.
So over here we actually have something called Eyefinity 6 Edition. And what this is one single graphics card that's actually running 6 displays. These are
one graphics card.
One graphics card, 6 24-inch displays, 1900 by 1200 resolution each. Now, one important distinction is that probably is worth mentioning is a lot of times when people first see Eyefinity, they think that they're looking at the size of the picture and not necessarily understanding the resolution. So a lot of people say, why don't I just buy a 50-inch TV or a 60-inch TV and get the same thing? Not at all true. They're going to get actually less than what's on this one screen, just a lot bigger. We're actually taking that and taking what you would normally see on one big screen TV and multiplying that by 6. So the resolution difference is tremendous.
Well, like in terms of megapixels then, you'd be able to get more on one particular, I guess, a bigger picture on one set of screens rather than a smaller picture that you'd have to shrink down instead of seeing the full megapixel resolution.
Absolutely. So, and I'm trying to remember the exact math on it, but I think I had heard that a 1080p display, a 1920 by 1080p display, is somewhere on the order of 2 megapixels. So if you think about it in terms of your camera and the however many megapixels you can look at, one thing that you'll notice is when you take a picture, no matter how big your screen is, you always have to shrink it down to view the whole picture.
Right.
Because the display just isn't big enough to handle it. Most cameras nowadays seem to be in that 7 megapixel range. Some are better, some are worse, but that's kind of a good average. If you look at 6 of the 30-inch displays that we've used on some of our demonstrations, my understanding is that equates to about 24 megapixels. So you're going from literally like 2 megapixels to 24 megapixels. It's just quite a large difference. And the benefits to doing this, if you're kind of curious on, well, why do I need that? There's really 2 benefits. One, you notice the second you walked in the room, the immersiveness. Wow, it just makes you feel like the game is surrounding you and it's kind of encapsulating and it's just a lot more fun. Number 2 is there's actually advantages in your gameplay. So if you're playing a shooter game, and typically you just have that one screen and you're going to see what's on that main screen. The minute you add those additional 2 screens, again, you're tripling the resolution. You're not just making something that's actually bigger, you're tripling the resolution. And what that does for you is, you're going to see enemies coming into those side screens, before they're going to see you. Because if they're using a single panel and you're using 3, you're actually going to be seeing them come into your field of view before they'll see you, and you get an advantage in the game. So that's one of the other things that we've noticed that the gamers have really glommed onto with this technology, is it just makes me a better gamer. And I could sit and kind of spout specs to you and talk about frames per second, and we do have the world's fastest graphics card right now, but I'd rather talk to you about how we change the gaming experience. And I think Eyefinity is one way that we're really changing the gaming experience.
It changed the way that I want to play games.
Yeah, I mean, if you just take a look at it, it's just a whole nother experience. Now, 6 panels is certainly for for a smaller class of people. It does take up a lot of space. But when you look at the first example we looked at with 3 panels, those panels were about $200 each. So I'm actually getting quite a bit more real estate for $600 than I would get in one 30-inch display that might be $1,200.
Yeah.
And I'm getting significantly more screen space. And in addition to the fact that it gives me some great advantages on gaming, there's also some productivity advantages to having 3 displays versus just 1 display. If you'd like, I can maybe show you that too.
Yeah, absolutely.